Welcome to the Bay Insider with Amanda and Ying, where we talk about real estate, history, and lifestyle in the San Francisco Bay Area. Welcome back to the Bay Insider. I've got with me, of course, Ying as usual, and our special guest, Liz Kong, who is a very good friend of mine. We've been friends for how many years?
40?
Did you say 40?
37
Yeah, because we were
years.
like 12, 13.
It was middle school.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, middle school, 8th grade. Or
Aptos?
well, no, you went to Hoover, right?
I was friends with your stepsister
Yes.
first, and then we met through her.
Right.
And
Is that true? That's how we met?
yep.
God, I don't even remember. It was such a long time ago. And I went to Aptos.
Yeah, that's what I thought. And so
That's
you
when
grew
you-
up in San Francisco, too.
And I went to Hoover.
Yeah.
Right.
So Liz grew up in San Francisco. I grew up in San Francisco. Liz is currently living in what's called Southern Hills, and that's the neighborhood that we're here to talk about. And as a matter of fact, we're going to expand that a little bit and also talk about Crocker, Amazon. Southern Hills, part of it is in San Francisco, and part of it is in Daly City.
Correct. Actually, our house, if you walk along the street right outside, you can see San Mateo County line starts here and San Francisco starts there. So the front of our house is in San Mateo County and the back is in San Francisco
No
County.
way.
Yes.
So when you bought a house, did you search San Francisco, Daly City?
My husband bought the house a while back in the late 80s, early 90s, I believe, and he tells me that it was first registered in San Francisco County.
Right.
But he decided to switch it to San Mateo County for property tax purposes, and he's just left it that way. Now,
Interesting. So he can basically choose because half of the house is in San
Right, but if we were to sell it, I'd want him to switch it back too.
Well, because the transfer tax in San Francisco is so much higher. I don't know what it is in Daly City,
I don't know what's in Daly
but
City.
I think it's probably a lot higher in San Francisco.
But it depends on what price you can get. So
Yeah,
I was
true.
thinking you're probably better off in San Francisco than Daly City. The transfer tax, it's smaller number, much smaller number.
Yeah, I suppose. Since we're going to talk about Crocker, Amazon, in addition, I think we should probably talk about that first because that's in San Francisco fully. Right? So Crocker, Amazon is north of Southern Hills, because that's the dividing line, San Francisco to Daly City, and south of Geneva Ave. And it includes Crocker, Amazon Park, which is actually, if you look at a map, it's kind of like a bulb out of the neighborhood bordering Excelsior District. And then you have Mission Street to the west and Sunnydale and the Cow Palace to the east, right? And then you travel uphill from Crocker, Amazon, and then you find yourself in Southern Hills. What are some of the street names in Southern Hills?
Southern Hills Boulevard.
That's an easy one.
There's Baltimore, Toyon. We live on Robinson.
Mm-hmm.
There's also a Robinson in San Francisco, so you have to be careful when you're ordering things. They don't deliver it to the San Francisco Robinson Drive, which is not as nice as our Robinson Drive. There's Chicago, Lapham, Canyon.
Okay.
A lot of very interesting names.
Do you know how those names came about?
I
by any
don't.
chance?
I know
Okay.
Lapham is a person or some kind of city official.
The whole area there was inhabited by the Ohlone people, the Native Americans, before becoming part of the Spanish land grants. And then after that, you had the pioneers who came after the gold rush. And most of the development of that area took place after World War II. So if we're talking about Southern Hills first, the Sunstream Homes was the contractor that built most of the neighborhood. So a lot of it was people coming back from the war, moving their families out to that area. And my understanding is that Crocker, Amazon, and Southern Hills was actually like a wealthy suburb of the city.
Right? Yeah, that's what I read, too.
Yeah, that's the thing, right, about
Yeah.
Southern Hills is almost all of the homes there
Almost
are
all,
detached,
except
right?
ours were
Oh.
detached on 3 sides. When I first met my husband when we were dating, I had no idea where he lived. He said, I live over in Southern Hills, and he was kind of surprised that I had never heard of it. And so when I drove there, I really needed directions. But he said, this is Southern Hills, and right at the bottom of our street, there is a mural that always looks like it's almost going to be finished, but it's not quite finished for the past 10 years I've looked at
really?
it. And it says Southern Hills, and it's a painting of, the landscape with a wolf and a heart. And he said this is a place where a lot of, it was an expensive place. People wanted to live here. And I'd never heard of it in the, 40 some odd years I'd been living there. But it was nice. A lot of detached homes, big homes, not a lot of backyard or front yard space, but there are some homes that go way, way back, like across the street from our house. So it's quite nice.
But views, right? Most houses have views.
We have a view of
Huge
the city.
views.
Yeah.
Huge views.
They were built in the 50s. They were all very similar, kind of typical two-story buildings with a two-car garage. And a lot of people have made sort of like in-law units, right? Into
Lower
the
level.
Lower floors.
Sort of like a Sunset, but detached,
Yeah.
right? Because
Yeah.
in Sunset, most houses are attached, but this is just more spread out.
And a lot of those houses were also built in the 50s.
And they're built by the same builder, is it? No, but Sunstream, not Dodger.
So there are Dodgers that
Right.
are around there for sure, but Sunstream Homes is the one that did most of the houses for the Southern Hills area. That's my understanding anyway.
Right.
And if going back down the hill towards the Crocker Amazon neighborhood, that neighborhood was developed a little bit earlier than the Southern Hills area was.
Right.
And so you see things going back to like the early 1900s. There's
Really?
arts
Okay.
and crafts. There's some Edwardians. They definitely have a lot of kind of arts and crafts places, right?
Yes.
Craftsman type
they're-
houses
A lot of them are stuck together.
stuck together.
Yeah. Well, I mean, a lot of the homes are attached.
Attached.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
Yeah,
what I
and
mean.
it has kind of like a fan look to it. If you look at the streets, like the street layout.
Probably because geography, right? You got a mountain there.
Yeah, exactly. So it kind of spills down the hillside. Yeah, so there's a lot of really neat, there's some little windy roads that are up there that kind of go back and forth. And unfortunately, it has a pretty racist history, the area there, like all of the things that you find on the preliminary title where they say, people of any race other than white can't live here.
They say that too, just
Yeah.
like Mount Davidson and all the Sea Cliff and all that. Okay.
Yeah. So that
Interesting.
was definitely something that was established, like especially when they did the development of the Southern Hills neighborhood.
Daly City has 58 to 60% Asian population, and about half of that is Filipinos. Is that how you feel at Southern Hills too?
I think it's a good mix. It's pretty representative of the makeup of the city.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just shocked at how many Filipinos are in Daly City.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And in Southern Hills, also in Crocker, Amazon, Filipino, and Samoan,
Yes.
interestingly
Samoan?
enough. Yeah. So apparently I was reading about, like, Crocker Amazon Park had gotten kind of run down and crappy or whatever. And then groups of Samoan community who had moved in started doing, of all things, cricket in the
Cricket?
at Crocker
Okay.
Amazon. And they really improved the park and had all of these big cricket matches. They'd all come out, have big
Interesting.
families and events and things like that. So that's kind of interesting.
Back to what you were talking about, suburban. There's a song, right?
Yeah, little boxes on the hillside. And they're all made out of tiki-taki, and they all look just the same. I can't sing it because I'll get in trouble.
What is tiki-taki?
Apparently.
What exactly
Well,
is...
what is tiki-taki? Tiki-taki is like not anything good.
some bad material, right? Are we referring to
Yeah.
something like
So I
not high
think-
quality?
Yeah, apparently Malvina Reynolds is the name of the woman who wrote that song. Little Boxes, right?
Little boxes, yeah.
That's the name of the song. My mom used to sing that song all the time.
1962.
Yeah, so she wrote it in 1962. Okay, so I think she had been walking around there, or was driving or looking
yeah.
at the houses, and it just kind of came to her because they do all look kind of the same, and they are different colors, and they're pink one and a blue one and a yellow one, whatever. And I think they're nicely made homes, but I think it was more of a mass-produced. Like, it happened fast and they went up quickly. And I don't know, they're not using old growth redwood probably.
Well, definitely not. Absolutely not. But I just thought the lyrics were fascinating, so I'm going to read a little bit
Yes,
of
please.
it. Little boxes on the hillside, little boxes made of tiki-taki, little boxes all the same. There's a green one and a pink one and a blue one and a yellow one, and they all made out of tiki-taki, and they all look the same. And the people in the houses all went to the university, where they were put in boxes and they came out all the same. And there's doctors and lawyers and business executives, and they are all made out of tiki-taki, and they all look the same. It goes on. I just found I was like, what? What is this about?
It's very 60s,
Yeah.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah. What do you think the backstory is?
It sounds like she doesn't think there's very much creativity or
Variety,
diversity.
Yeah. In the 50s and the early 60s, it was very homogenous. And like a lot of the city, Italian, Irish, right?
Right.
In the
right.
beginning. Then with, the racist things that they had,
Well, you
Segregation?
mentioned white flight, right?
Yes. White flight. So that's what it was, what they called white flight, right? Where these white families who were wanting to move out of the inner city, right?
It was becoming
It was
more
becoming
diverse.
too diverse. It was becoming whatever.
So they want a suburb.
Suburbs, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, that's
they want-
basically it. So,
Okay,
you
okay.
hear about white flight and that type of thing. It was considered upscale, is my understanding, in terms of the neighborhood and in the area. The point being that those types of people that she talked about in the song would be the types of people she's imagining living in these houses. Kind of
Which
a
is
boring-
interesting because it's not so white. It's very mixed. We have a Samoan family down the street, a lot of biracial families. But yeah, white. There's a couple of people who are our neighbors who talk about the old times and how the neighborhood used to look, and it didn't look the way it does now.
It was a different makeup,
Yeah.
just like anything in the city. I mean, it's always evolving and there's always kind of changing neighborhoods for sure. The owner of that land, I forgot to mention, was railroad tycoon Charles Crocker, who was one of the big four.
Big four for what?
Tycoons.
Barons. Huntington, Mark Hopkins, Stanford, and Charles Crocker.
I was thinking, do people get called tycoons and barons today, or is that like outmoded language?
No, they call it gazillionaires.
Gazillionaires. Yeah, they can't be even billionaires anymore. I've noticed when I go to Southern Hills, it seems like a small town, kind of.
We know our neighbors, but we're not really socialized with them that much. But it is very sleepy, and, your block is it's intimate. You don't really go to Southern Hills unless you know someone there or you have to be there. There's not a whole lot of commercial things
Right.
going on. You can connect to San Bruno Mountain. You can go to Daly City, but it's intimate. I love the neighborhood. It's sunny. The weather is always so nice.
It's nice. That's different
It's totally different than the rest of Daly City.
I was gonna say
because it's
Daly-
high up.
Right.
Yeah.
It's beautiful, and it could be sunny and warm, and I can drive into the sunset, and it's completely different. The sunset's usually different than a lot of parts of the city, but the weather's always beautiful.
Okay.
So that was something that I wanted you to talk about, Liz, because I think you come from kind of a unique perspective that a lot of people in the city grapple with, right? You lived in Pacific Heights, right? Right there by the park, Alta Plaza.
Yep.
And you were used to all of the commercial stuff that is there and walking to the park and tons of people and trouble
$100
parking.
T-shirts just at
Yeah,
arm's
$100
reach.
T-shirts, all that kind of stuff. There's a lot of people thinking of having a family or doing something like that. They might think, well, I can't live in this dense of an area, and they want to move out and have more space or whatever. So I know for you that was a big change. Like, how was that for you? What preconceptions did you have before you went out there? Was anything that you've learned that was not what you thought it would be like, or...
Well, I've learned that I don't really go out too much anymore after having my kid. But, moving from a very dense area, like Amanda said, right off of Fillmore and Clay, where, you can go out and get whatever you want. Moving there, very quiet, but I enjoyed the weather. I enjoyed being able to take a walk and not have to really dodge traffic. And we have, a local store, Cordova Market. It's been around for a very long time, and it's a nice walk there if you want to buy, basic groceries. So it wasn't too much of a shift for me, and I thought it was very nice, after we had our son, just to, be able to take walks in the neighborhood with the dog, and you'd run into other families and wave at them. Everyone's doing their own routine, so it wasn't a big shift for me. And, I enjoy it. And I love knowing that I'm very close to the city. If I want to go out to the Mission or go out to the 7 Mile House, which is a restaurant down at the end of Bayshore, it's all within arm's reach. Going to Daly City, so close. So it's a very good transit corridor.
Yeah.
The 7 Mile House.
There's a lot of Filipino food there, too.
I was going to say, because that's
And
where
live
I
music.
heard about.
Live music, dog-friendly, lots of sports, great bar. A lot of people go there for lunch, so it's very working class. You'll see construction workers going there during lunch.
Okay.
The schools, I think, have some opportunities out in Southern Hills, that part of the Excelsior. When, I look at homes that are being listed, the grades for the schools aren't that great.
Yeah. So for Southern Hills, they have the Panorama Elementary School, which has quite good reviews.
Which is great, yes.
Which is a good school.
It's part of the
Daly City.
Brisbane School District,
Oh,
which
no,
is
really?
odd because
Okay.
Brisbane's sort of down the road.
Right, on the opposite side.
We live in it's a different school district that consists of one school, the Bayshore School District. And it's one school,
Okay.
K through 8. The building's fairly new, but I thought it was
What's it
interesting
called?
that it's called the Bayshore School.
Oh, okay.
And it has its own superintendent, its own board of education for one school.
K through 8.
K through 8.
And that's, so you're in Daly City, right? Because you changed the classification.
Right.
So if
That's our school.
So that's your school.
Right.
And in that area, does it work more like you go to the school versus San Francisco where it's a lottery? Is that like a neighborhood?
It's more of an attendance area.
Okay.
My husband has 2 older boys, and they both went to Panorama. And it actually just got renovated, and it's a very highly regarded school. A lot of people want to go there. We tried to apply for a inter-district transfer, and the Bayshore School District didn't approve it because we wanted to go to Panorama. Yeah, and so that's Brisbane. We learned that that's Brisbane School District. Then we have the Bayshore School District, and if you just look at the lines, it seems pretty arbitrary how they drew them.
In Crocker, Amazon, they have Guadalupe Elementary and Longfellow Elementary.
Longfellow, and then there's Monroe. Had I not dated my husband, I would have never gone to that part of town, I think. It's beautiful, but there's not a lot to go do and see unless you go to San Bruno Mountain, which is great. There's different ways to get to it, but that's the only reason why I would think I would go there.
So let's talk about the mountain a little bit. San Bruno Mountain
Yes.
is huge, right? And lots of hiking trails.
Lots of hiking trails, lots of blackberry bushes, but it's huge, and I hadn't realized that you can cross almost underneath the freeway, and you're on this other mountain that has its like an outlook and its own, I think, fire station or something that's out there, like a fire watch place. You and I may have hiked there
We
before.
did. As a matter of fact, when I was looking at pictures of Southern Hills to see what I had in my camera, I came across some really nice pictures that I took when we were walking around
That's
there
right.
with all the wildflowers that were out. And looking at the view, because the views, again, you can see the city of San Francisco, right. in the distance. And then you've got the Cow Palace down there. And they've got some.
What is the Cow Palace used for now?
Well, they still have events and
They
things
have
there.
the Dickens Fair.
Yeah.
I think they do that. They might
Right.
do a Renaissance fair type thing. Well, I guess that's the Dickens
Gun show.
Fair. They do the rodeo. That still
The rodeo,
happens.
yes, they do
my
the
God.
rodeo.
They have
Gosh.
your once in a while they have some non-Barnum and Bailey circus and gun shows, I think.
Okay.
Wrestling matches I've heard in the past.
Like the ones where they wear the
Like the pro wrestling. Oh, I mean
cool
like
masks.
the
What
luchadors.
is that
I
called?
don't know if they had that, but
Oh, that would be fun.
So
wrestling
it
match
says
was a long time ago.
1941
Is when it was built.
when it was built. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and remember down over there is, where the stadium used to be, right? The 49ers
right.
Stadium.
Yep.
It says the idea came from 1950 Pan Pacific International Expo.
Okay.
Remember the expo we talked about
Yeah.
for Inner Sunset? So that's where the idea came from. And it's about livestock
Hence Cow Palace.
Palace.
A palace
Interesting.
of bovine.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
interesting. Yeah, you get some views of the Cow Palace, too, from the backside of some of the houses up there on the hill. But yeah, I think San Bruno Mountain is a real special kind of place because you really feel like you're out there in the wilderness.
Yes. You wouldn't know
Completely.
that just across the street there's all these homes in this big
Yeah.
city, but it's beautiful. It can be very quiet, and there's picnic tables and lots of amenities. And I think they recently did its own renovation, or
Yeah.
Rec and Park went out there and did a little nice upkeep. So the trails are really nice now, and
Yeah, no, I think it's impressive. And for anybody who likes the great outdoors in the city, if you haven't been, you should definitely check it out.
So, like, where should you park? Let's say if you want to do a trail, like a popular hike, where would be the starting points?
there are a lot of ways in. But what I do is I
Yeah.
drive all the way up South Hill
Okay.
until you have to make a right, and you're at one entrance. A lot of people choose the entrance, I think, that is off the freeway because there's a big parking lot, and
Okay.
there's more of a ranger station, I guess. I can't tell you what freeway it is. I think it's Guadalupe.
But yeah, there's different entrances where
Lots
you
of
first go in.
eucalyptus trees. You can't bring dogs in San Bruno State Mountain Park.
You cannot.
You cannot.
Why is
But
that?
sometimes I've seen people do it.
Well, we brought our dog once many years ago, and we were told that they were forbidden, either because of the area itself or coyotes. I don't know, but
They don't
you
want
can't
them
be in it.
messing up the
Maybe.
flora and fauna. Yeah, so in addition to San Bruno Mountain, in terms of parks, you have McLaren Park is not too far away, right?
It's
That's
very
bordering the
close,
Excelsior.
and that's huge.
And there's some really cool stuff. And they do allow dogs.
Mm-hmm.
And they have a pond or a lake or something. A lot of people take their dogs swimming there.
Oh, I
Yeah.
did not know that.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting.
And there's the Glen Eagles golf courses out there.
Mm.
And the Crocker Amazon playground itself, it's under renovation. There's a little controversy about the baseball field versus pickleball versus cricket. So there's a little neighborhood advocacy going on for those who want the baseball fields versus.
Well, whenever you throw pickleball in there, there's going to be some arguments.
Yeah.
Let's not do that.
We found that out. haven't we?
Everyone has strong opinions about pickleball
That is for
versus
sure.
tennis.
Yeah. So Crocker Amazon Park though is pretty big. They've got a lot of soccer fields. They've got
Huge.
soccer fields.
And from our house, which is up on the hill, you can see Crocker Amazon Park, and the fields have these huge lights. And for some reason, they stay on until 10 p.m.
Oh,
so
no.
So is that annoying?
it's a little annoying because we don't have any window treatments on our back deck.
Right.
So a lot of times I think, oh, it's a full moon, it's so bright, and then I look out and it's actually all the lights.
Harvest
And you
moon.
can hear. And the interesting thing is, there's a street called Canyon,
Yeah.
but things echo. So we get a lot of people who light fireworks during the season, and you could think that it's right across the street, but you can really hear things echo that are actually very far away. It's pretty interesting.
That is a good point that over in that area, they do a lot of fireworks.
And looking at our deck,
Excelsior.
it's like your own show. Yeah,
Yeah.
you can see a lot.
So good and bad for that.
So on that note, I remember a couple of times I went over there. It looked pretty dry. The whole mountain looked very dry, very brown. I mean, I'm sure you know the look. And I know some of my clients lived in the outer Mission. They were saying, like, couple streets down, people were not getting insurance anymore, or they were having trouble getting fire insurance.
Really?
Yeah, still in San Francisco by Southern Hills.
Okay.
So have you had any
Not yet.
Insurance issues?
Not
insurance
yet.
issues?
Not yet. But our house is right on the back of a hill, actually, and we do our own, fire abatement, sort of preventative maintenance.
Defensible space.
Defensible space, that's what it's called. But lots of trees. If you go up South Hill, there's tall eucalyptus trees. And during that huge storm we had a couple years ago, one, fell over and blocked the whole road. But it's lots of trees, dry. Yes, I would say it's dry. But no insurance issues yet.
Okay, well, that's good. So, yeah, going back to Crocker Amazon Park, so you mentioned the pickleball courts. I guess those just opened in August, is my understanding.
I haven't heard any of that annoying
Ping,
popping
ping, ping.
noise.
Yeah, some
yet.
people get really annoyed by that, but you haven't heard it, so that's good. And then I guess every fall, I think they do a baseball and softball academy for middle and high schoolers, like a free.
I believe so. Junior Giants,
academy?
they have
Yeah.
their practice sessions out there.
So that's cool. Good amount of parks and nature open space that you can go to. Do you know an interesting fact of what Crocker Amazon is also, like a fun fact of what they're also famous for?
No.
No. So do you know who Patty Hearst was?
Oh, yes.
Okay. So she was, very well-to-do
The
college
Hearst
student at
family,
the time. They kidnapped her back in, 1973? And then she famously became part of, is it the
Symbionese
Liberation Army?
Army.
Yeah, so, they were out there robbing banks, I think, is what they were doing. And she was part of that. So there was a whole thing about whether she was, like, truly involved in those robberies as her
Willing
on her own.
participant.
Yeah, or
Stockholm Syndrome.
Exactly, Stockholm Syndrome. So when she was at 625 Morse Street, which is in Crocker, Amazon, in 1975, she had been renting that upstairs apartment. She hadn't been there very long. She was with one other person who was involved. And the rent, this is an interesting point, I thought. The rent for the apartment that she was staying in where they found her was $180 a month. So you can imagine that's kind of crazy.
She stayed, it would only be how much
Yeah.
a month?
Well, she wouldn't have to pay too much more with the rent control, right?
Exactly.
Right.
She'd be doing good, but instead she got taken away by the police. So in 1975, they found her holed up there and took her away. That same house sold in 1977 for $60,000. And then again in 1995 was the last sale for $170,000. So we can imagine it's
What it's
quite a
worth
bit
now.
more now at this point. But anyways, I just thought, that's kind of one of their spooky
Things.
claim
And-
to fame,
Crocker.
right?
Well, the
She's still
Excelsior's
alive.
right.
She's still alive, yeah.
Oh, is she?
She's
Oh,
still
yeah.
alive. And she's actress now.
Yeah.
And she wrote a book.
Yeah, she did indeed. So I think I don't know if her record got expunged or if she did her time or exactly
She got pardoned by
Right.
Clinton
Okay.
in 2001.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah,
And
she
then-
only served for 2 years.
Okay. And then went on to live her life.
Mm-hmm.
But that's quite a backstory she has there. Quite a lot of excitement. Anyway, so that was just kind of the fun, interesting factoid about Crocker Amazon, which is otherwise relatively sleepy. And that's why they thought they could hide out there, right? Is because it was kind of a sleepy place. Nobody would notice. But restaurants, I think that's what I wanted to transition to next, is basically businesses. So Crocker Amazon and Southern Hills are not really well known for their plethora of businesses, though there are a lot of a variety of restaurants and things like that. Like, where do you go if you go somewhere in the neighborhood or take takeout or whatever?
Besides 7 Mile, which is just a nice place to go and get out of the house, there are actually a lot of little bars and small mom and pop places. There's a Thai place, Zab, I want to say, on Mission. It's hard to...
ZAB?
Z-A-B-B.
B. Okay, two.
The part of Mission and Geneva, it's pretty close to Southern Hills, or at least where I am. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of little Vietnamese sandwich shops, taquerias. Mm-hmm. So we may go out and get something really quick there. There's also the Dark Horse, which is like a gastropub right outside of the
It's at
bus stop.
942 Geneva.
Right
by
at the heart
Mission.
of everything, right next to the party supply place.
And my understanding is that they are redoing it right now, or they're closed until February 28th of next
I did
year.
Not know that.
I don't know exactly why, but it looks like if you look at their website or their Instagram site, that they are doing some pop-up events, like in front of the place, or like when they did Sunday Streets and they closed for the Excelsior and closed Mission Street so people can ride their bikes and do all that kind of stuff. October 19th, they were serving smash burgers and spritzers during the Excelsior Sunday Street.
I know they're very popular.
Yes, Dark
Very,
Horse.
very popular. Southern Hills itself, there's It's all residential. There's not a lot out there. But once you venture to the Excelsior Mission Street, you're going to get mostly Latin food. There's Asian food. Once in a while, there's a couple of wine bars that I drove by. I don't remember the name, but I thought, oh my goodness, a wine bar on Mission Street. There's a bar called Bottoms Up, which is very popular.
In Excelsior, yeah.
In the Outer Mission Excelsior. So, and that Sunday streets, when they close the streets, is actually pretty cool because a lot of people bring their lowrider cars and their classic cars out, and the weather's usually very nice.
That's a lot of fun. I love the Sunday streets. I think it's such a great thing that they do all over the city. Yeah. But the Excelsior one is fun. When I used to live on St. Mary's, we got our bikes and like rode down because it's kind of a quick ride down there. Have you been to a place called, I don't know how to say this, okay, Jam Pong or J-Jam P Pong?
J-Jam P Pong,
I've
right.
seen it.
You think it's J-Jam P Pong?
Yeah.
Korean? I don't know.
Yeah, it's Korean, but rooted in Chinese cuisine.
It's been around for a long time because I always drive by it and go, I wonder if that place is good.
They have really good reviews.
Yeah, reviews is awesome. You should try it.
Yeah, so it's like, is it like
let me
an
look at the
area
pictures.
of Korea where...
Well, Korea, it borders China, so it just depends, right?
Yeah, but it's, I think it's supposed to be some special mix of, I don't know.
let me see the pictures. I can tell you.
Yeah, you look at the pictures and you tell us. And
okay, it's different from typical Korean food. Right. It's more Chinese, but I guess it's probably northern part of China.
Okay.
The food, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't say this is Korean food if I just look at dishes.
Yeah, I thought about going there and trying it before this, but I just didn't have the time, so I didn't do it. Have you ever been to the Halfway Club?
Yes. It used to be called the Broken Record. And
okay.
And it's the Halfway Club. And they have food.
Cocktails.
And they have open mic night, which a coworker of mine has brought her ukulele and played there.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And they have this one bar next to it called the Geneva Pub that's open during strange days and hours. It's very lively, pool table. Geneva Pub, right on the corner of Naples and Geneva. Southern Hills, Excelsior, Crocker, Amazon. I really appreciate how much I don't think has changed over the years with it. It's still very blue collar, working class. You definitely get that vibe out there. It's busy, but it's not. And it just feels very family friendly, even though on the exterior, if you're driving through Geneva, it's so busy, but it just feels really great. So we love living out there, and really lucky that he bought when he did.
And it's nice and safe. Like your husband is a retired police officer.
Yes, and he's told me a lot of
And I'm sure there's a bunch of other ones out there.
Yes.
And you're a nurse, so you're good neighbors to have, actually. Right?
And I mean, he's always on next door, and people do look out for each other.
Right.
Yeah. So
that's good. The other place I was looking at was Philly's, going back
very
to the
busy.
Restaurants. Philly's.
A lot of people, I guess, get DoorDash or Uber Eats because I always see the guys on the scooters like going in
lined
and out
up
of
there.
And Philly cheesesteak can't go wrong with cheese and onions. And
I guess they said that they are one of the top in the country that are not from Philadelphia that make Philly cheesesteaks. And then I was looking at their reviews just out of curiosity, and pretty much everybody's saying really great things about them, except for this one guy who was staying like at Civic Center for some event. He was staying there, and he was just really craving a Philly cheesesteak. So he went down a rabbit hole trying to find out where the best place to get one was, and he found that it was at Philly's in the Outer Mission, right?
Oh my gosh.
And so he ordered it on DoorDash, and it arrived God only knows how long later, right? Over an hour. And then he complained.
It was a soggy
Well, he didn't
mess.
say it was soggy. He said it wasn't well seasoned. But I don't see how anybody could expect a Philly cheesesteak traveling from the Outer Mission to Civic Center in a car that probably was, not that he probably didn't pay the direct fee too. So, who knows where it was traveling around. Anyways.
There's certain things you should order for
People
delivery.
and
like
that's
French
one of
fries
them.
and maybe Philly cheesesteaks.
I think that's one of them, but apparently lots of people do it and are happy. Yeah. So anyway. And then Universal Breakfast and Lunch, is that
You showed me that place.
It used to be called something Wraps, wasn't it?
I think it's always been Universal
Oh, okay.
breakfast, and they're good. They're always very busy in the
Yes.
morning.
And they're very friendly.
They're very friendly. I think it's like 2 people that work there, so
Yeah.
sometimes it might be a little wait depending on how busy they are, but they've been around for a while.
Yeah, I went there selling a house on Amazon, not Amazon the company, but Amazon the street. And that's funny. and anyways, I went there a bunch of times while I was marketing that house, and I thought it was delicious. Nice wraps and all that. So we already talked about the weather and how it's better weather out there. People think of Daly City and they think fog all the time, right? And it's not the same. You can attest to that.
No, it's not the same. It's great weather. It can get windier because of where you are, but it's beautiful.
Yeah, but so many parts of San Francisco can get windier, you know? I mean, there's so much wind. And then the other really important thing, especially for our talk here, is the cost of living, right? So you can actually go and get a single family home that has enough space. Maybe it's detached. Maybe it's detached on one side.
One side. Or 3 sides.
Or 3. You're detached on 3 sides?
Yep.
Oh,
That's
So
not bad.
it's not bad.
you're attached on one.
We're attached on one. That's
Yeah,
okay.
just one.
Yeah, so you can get a little bit more space. You can get some views. All of that for
It's still affordable. Great starter home.
1 million, 2, 1 million,
Still
3
Daly
for
City
like
price.
a decent size house.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Daly City prices now is about that.
Mm-hmm. But this way you get the
nicer.
better weather, and it's really close into the city. I mean, it really is so adjacent.
Very
And, like,
close.
yeah.
And I will say now's a great time of year to, if you've never been to the Southern Hills area, to just drive by I think it's 1 Southern Hill Boulevard. There's a man that lives in the house on the corner. I think his name is John. I'm sure he's got to have a following on some social media, but there's a huge cow, like a big,
Yes.
bigger than a real cow, a huge cow on his roof.
Oh,
And
no. Okay.
he dresses it up for whatever occasion. Right now it's Halloween, and it's a big deal.
Can you take a picture for us?
I was going
Can
to.
you give that address again?
I believe it's 1 South Hill Boulevard. It's
Okay.
right when you enter the main that street.
Yeah, it is. I find it very welcoming when I see his cow all dressed up.
He's got a little community, I guess, bookshare post outside of his home, and he keeps his home up really nice. But there's a big cow, and it's always dressed up in some way. So right now he has huge skeletons they look like, I don't know, the 4 horsemen riding the cow. At night, it's just lit up so well. And then the person across the street must be a friend of his that bought the house.
Oh, really?
And that's a gorgeous house, too. I love the way it looks. They do a little mini version of Halloween. So it's almost like they're competing. My husband said there were a lot more houses that used to, decorate for Halloween. But this house for Hardly Strictly Bluegrass, the cow was dressed up for Lunar New
Really?
Year, for springtime. It's quite amazing what he does. And it's only fallen off the roof once during that
The
storm
cow?
that was so...
Oh, I
yeah.
remember you telling me that.
So
What
it was
the
a big...
cow made of?
I have no
Probably
idea.
fiberglass.
But he, the guy
I don't know, I'm guessing
climbs up on his
completely.
roof, and he has a huge garage he must store all of his decorations. It's really impressive.
Wow.
I'd say go there now and look.
And look.
Some years it's a lot scarier and gorier than others. I think this is medium scary.
Yeah, and then go look around the neighborhood, drive around, look at the views, hop over to San Bruno and take a hike, right?
And pick some blackberries.
And pick some
Don't bring your
blackberries.
dog.
And do not bring
Do
your
not
dog.
bring your dog.
All right. Anything else you think we need to know?
Well, I think it's great that it's being discussed here. And yes, if you want to explore some part of the city, and you'll find some hidden little pockets of parks and restaurants and things like that, I would highly recommend. And great weather.
Mm-hmm. Just walk around the streets.
Yep.
So we should call it a hidden gem, right?
Yeah, I would call it a hidden gem. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. Yes.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
It was a lot of fun, and I'm excited for people to learn about the neighborhood because there's very little information out about Crocker, Amazon, and even less around Southern Hills.
Hills,
So
yeah.
hopefully people will get a little bit of an idea.
And I'm going to try that jam pong now.
Do it.
Yeah.
Let us know. Report back.
And let us know.
I'll take a picture of the cow.
All right.
Absolutely. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you.